Okay, it's around 8 in the morning. I'm getting ready for school. In a little bit, I'm gonna have to leave, but I wanted to talk to you guys real quick. I just woke up, so my voice is not the best, but you can hear me. So, why did I even start this podcast? Why did I start this channel? Let's start there. So, I am an artist, and I love artists. I appreciate artists. I love us. I don't feel like we get enough respect or enough support, or just enough appreciation. And a lot of the time, or actually all the time, there's no set path to doing this. So I've been pursuing this for about 3 years now, and there's so much there's so much time that I could have saved if I had known some of the things that I am talking about on this podcast. So this is like a time saver, so you guys don't have to spend, you can take my 3 years, 5 years. I've been pursuing being an artist for 3 years, but a producer it was about 14, and I'm 22 now, so that's about 8 years. So you guys can save, 8 years of your life with what I'm talking about. So, in my experience, there's no set path to becoming an artist. You're just out here. There's no guidebook, there's no degree, there's no path that's like, hey, I go to school, then I go to grad school, then I get a job, or whatever it is. What it is for regular, normies that are doctors and lawyers and all these things, engineers, where they have a set path and it's clear. Being an artist, you're literally just thrown out to the world, and you just have to learn shit as you go, and a lot of time can get wasted. And this is why I've started this podcast at all. And as I learn, it's going to start to get more and more useful, more and more helpful, and just better. So today I want to talk about pain. And coming out hot. But I wanted to talk today about pain and why it's so necessary for people in general, but specifically artists. It's even more than necessary. Pain is essential to being an artist. It's essential. Like, there's nothing more important than pain. And I'm not gonna say this in like an emo way, like, yeah, like pain, I just have so many feelings, no, not necessarily. It's very cold in here, so if this fogs up, you know what's going on. But anyways, though, pain. Let's talk about pain. So, pain is absolutely essential to being an artist. And from my personal experience, the reason that I even started making music, like putting my voice on beats, I was just producing. I was just literally just producing. No one knew my face, no one knew my name, nothing. But now I'm more out there. My voice is on the beats, my words are on the beats, my feelings and thoughts are on there. So it's a lot. It's a lot more. It makes you be a lot more vulnerable, like being an artist, versus really anything else. So I don't know. I think we're all very, very vulnerable. If you're putting your feelings in your art, you're vulnerable. You're exposed. There's no getting around it. Whether it's your voice or not, you're still exposed. So I take that back. But, from my personal experience, I started getting serious about producing when I was a freshman in college, the first time I went to college. And, basically, I had gotten this laptop. They'd given me this laptop. I got a full ride scholarship to this engineering school, and I got this laptop for my engineering stuff, for CAD and all that type of shit that requires a lot of processing power, kind of. So it was a nice computer, and immediately downloaded FL, and I started making beats every day, every night in my dorm room. And that's really when I became serious about it, because I started doing it every day, and I was just, it consumed my entire life and consumed my mind, just making music, not school. And basically, I was doing that for a while, and I was in engineering school. And if anyone here watching has been in engineering school or is currently in it, you can attest to the fact that the workload is fucking insane. So if you're trying to do other things, I was in clubs and all that, and I was making beats and like producing, and I was in fucking engineering school, one of the like best ones in the country, no flex. Just to let you guys know, like, the workload was absolutely no joke. It was no joke. So I stopped eating, I stopped sleeping, I started taking amphetamines. So basically, like, you know, I don't know, I mean, you know what I mean? And I just wasn't taking care of myself at all. I wasn't sleeping, eating, nothing. I was literally just popping amphetamines to stay up and to work more. And this worked for a while. It actually worked really, really well. I got every single thing that I needed to get done, and more. But I wasn't taking care of myself at the end of the day. So what happened? It wasn't sustainable. When you don't take care of yourself for a while, or when you don't take care of yourself, period, it's not sustainable. You can't do that forever, because you got to take care of this vessel. Like, we're on Earth. This is the physical vessel that you have to do things in the world and to live. So you have to take care of it sooner or later. And I didn't learn that. Now I know that because I've learned. But then I didn't know that. And the universe decided to teach me a lesson. And I got sick. I got really, really fucking sick. And I started to lose control of the entire right side of my body. My mouth was sloped down. I couldn't talk. Like, I was slurring, because everything on my right side was basically began to be paralyzed. I started to become paralyzed. And I was just gonna shrug it off, whatever. And but I came home for spring break. This is when all this stuff started happening. And I was at home with my mom. And she noticed. I told her what was going on, or she noticed, and she was like, no, you're not just going to let this slide. We have to go to the hospital. So we went to the hospital, and I'm like, oh, there's going to be nothing, blah, blah. It's like, it's little. I always like to, not accept that this may be really scary. And, but I try to be positive, but we were there, and they took some blood tests, and they did a couple things. And the doctor left. And then when he came back, he told me that I had MS. So I have an autoimmune disorder. Sorry, my camera shut off. But I have an autoimmune disorder that is going to be with me for my entire life. But luckily, I'm on really good medicine, and we're in 2021, and I don't have to walk around paralyzed. I'm good. You could never tell just talking to me or watching me or whatever, right? Most people that I know do not know. So this is kind of a big deal that I'm saying this on camera. What? But anyways, yeah, so I have that autoimmune disorder, the same one that my grandma had before she died. And when he came in and he told me this, it was devastating. It was devastating because I knew that, like, this is not a flu. This isn't a temporary sickness. Like, I'm sick now, but I'll get better. It's just something that I have and am going to live with forever. So at the time, it was traumatizing. It was shocking. I was like, I never in a million years thought that I would have a disease that is lifelong and forever. Like, I never thought. I thought I was healthy, but I wasn't. And, yeah. And this is what I have. So after that, I slipped into a major depression. So it took a while for them to find out what medicine was the right one for me. First, they had me on steroids, which did bring this back for the most part, but it also had a lot of side effects. Like, it basically prevented me from sleeping at night. It prevented me from, like, it made my face really puffy and watery. And at the same time, I couldn't really, like, it did something, but I still couldn't really walk and I couldn't really talk the way that I am now. Like, I was still limping across the street. I couldn't control the right side of my body still very much. So I really couldn't go anywhere. I couldn't really do anything. My life had shut down completely. And I got really, really depressed. And I really thought, like, I really felt hopeless. I felt like literally this is it. Like, I don't know. My life has changed forever. I can't. I'm 20. I was like 19 at the time. 19 or something like that. And it was just like my life was over. It felt like my life is over. Like, I'm 19 with this disease that is for like 60-year-olds, I thought. And so, yeah, my life had shut down. Imagine if you wanted to take a walk. I couldn't take a walk if I wanted to. I couldn't do anything except for lay in the bed. And that's what I did for months. For months. I could only basically lay in the bed. I could barely make it downstairs. And I was really, really depressed because of this. Yeah, man. So, the only thing I did in the bed was just write. I just wrote the whole time. I had nothing else to do, and I had lots of feelings, and I was going through a lot of things emotionally, with the diagnosis. So the only thing that I could do was write. And I wrote to God, I wrote to myself, I wrote about, pretty much anything, that was on my mind. And I wish I could find those now. I wish I could find those notebooks and things. I'll try to find them for you guys, maybe, if you'd like to see them. I want to see them, honestly, one day. But this is also around the time, I think right after I worked really hard on physical therapy on my own and in the hospital and everything with my doctors to get this back so I could write with my right hand again, because I was writing, but I could not write with my right hand. I had to write with my left hand, and that is not my dominant hand, and it was difficult. And it's hard to read, probably, and it's messy, but I had to write. Because that was the only way I could express myself at the time in my feelings. And so I had to write with my left hand for months. And I did. And one of the things that I wrote was a song. And it's a song that is my most popular song to this day still. I never promote it. It outstreams every single song that I have. It's called Life Cycle, if you want to check it out. And it's about my experience. It's exactly about my experience. It's about my pain. It's about feeling like my life was crashing, and then realizing that, hey, actually, like, I'm still coming out on the other side of this. Okay, like, I'm talking to you guys today. I can walk, I can talk shit, I can fucking do whatever I want. I can do the robot, like, I can do whatever I want. I'm doing shows. I'm doing everything that I could possibly want. I'm running everything. And I'm coming here to you guys today to tell you, when you go through things, because you will, and life will hit you. It will hit you out of nowhere. You will get something that will confuse you. It will shake your entire beliefs about life. It will shake your entire beliefs about yourself. It will scare you. It's gonna throw you some shit. Okay, period. That's one of the guarantees in life. You're gonna die, you have to pay taxes, and life will throw you some shit that you were not expecting. So when life comes at you fast, right, I hope you don't crash out. I could be still, I was really angry during that time too, and I started doing some things that could have gotten me in jail. And I'm really, really grateful that I never made it to jail, but it was possible because of just the amount of pain and anger that I had at the time. But when it comes at you fast, I hope you don't crash out. Some people do crash out, and it does happen all the time. Like, shit happens to people, and they crash out. But for me, it was useful. It was so useful for me to go through that pain, because I learned the greatest lesson of my entire life. And also wrote the greatest song of my entire life. I've never written a better song than that. And just because it was so raw. It was so much in that. I put every single thing in that. And all of my pain in that. So when that does happen, when life comes at you fast, I hope you don't crash out. And I learned the most valuable lesson of my life, which was that, like, the feelings will never end. You will always experience painful, complex, confusing feelings. These will never go away, okay? Pain will never go away. But it never lasts. So the good thing about pain is that it always will be there in your life at some point, and you have no idea when, but it will never last. It's always temporary. Like when somebody pinches you, right? You feel it for a second, and then they release you, and you don't feel it anymore. You're just living. So, your pain works in that exact same way. So, even though you can't avoid pain, but it was useful for me to know that, okay, even though I am feeling a lot of pain right now, this will go away, and it did go away. It did. Like, I don't feel that type of pain anymore, as I just live, as you go through life and you give it some time and you just, live your life and, just keep going, that pain will go away. You'll feel other things, and other feelings will fill into that, and then something else will happen and you'll feel pain again, and then, you'll keep going through this cycle that is life of pain and pleasure and everything in between. So as artists, our pain is absolutely essential to our lives and to our art, because when you're at a heightened emotional state, you will create so purely. So the good thing about Life Cycle, that song that I wrote through that journey that I went through and that pain that I went through, my best song, hands down. Basically, I was able to it just came out of me. I didn't write anything down. I didn't even have to write anything down. It just came purely, directly from me, from my heart, from my soul. Like, it came straight from me because I was in that heightened emotional state. I was able to tap in to that pain directly and put it directly out and just speak it, And when you get to that, and I'm still constantly trying to find that. I'm constantly trying to find that now, in my art, and just tap into that again, because, even though you don't like pain, as an artist, it's really a gift, It's really a gift to go through it. And, and the good thing about it is, too, since we do have that gift of being able to create art, when we go through pain, we're actually able to share it with other people, and they're able to be comforted by it and be just consoled by it, and be able to learn from our pain and be able to benefit from our pain. Now the world can benefit from our pain, in ourselves, right? Like I said, Life Cycle outstreams every single song that I have, and I do not ever promote it. So, when you express that pain through your art, which is a gift. Both are a gift. Pain is a gift. Art is a gift. Being able to create art is a gift. When you are able to express that pain through your art, you will not only get some of the best art that you've ever created, but you'll get something that all of humanity can look at and have to guide them when they experience their pain. And that is the most beautiful thing. That's the highest, to me, that's the highest calling you could ever have, is to be able to share your pain and use it to guide other people in pain, or console other people in pain, or comfort them. That is the highest honor. It's an honor for me to be able to do that for other people. And yeah, every day I get people coming up to me like, I really love that song, or like, that song really got me through like depression, or I still hear that to this day, and I never even mention the song ever, right? So I urge you guys, and this is a lesson that I learned on my own, to not shy away from pain, to not be afraid of it, because as artists, it's actually a gift for us. It's an opportunity that allows us. It's actually an opportunity that allows us to share that pain with other people and use it to basically amplify it. And also, it's also therapeutic to just express it in general, to get it out, and to talk about things that, that you would have maybe not otherwise talked about. So, pain is really a gift for artists. It's essential. it is it's actually good. Pain is actually good, and that sounds pretty crazy, but hopefully my story or what I've said in this video will kind of allow you guys to if you're going through something right now, if you're going through pain right now, if you're watching this video and you're going through pain, use it, put it in your art, channel it, and later you will appreciate that you had that pain. I know it sounds crazy, but you will appreciate that you went through that and that you had that pain and that you did go, you were able to express it and put it on art forever, that you can have forever, because you might live about 80 or 100 or whatever, but your art will live forever. It doesn't die. So, art is long and life is short. And pain is present. It's always going to be present. And it's going to go in cycles, and you can get through it, and you can use it to make a difference, like make an actual difference in real, actual people's lives. So, with that being said, pain is good. Pain is essential to being an artist. I've written the best song that I've ever written because of one of the hardest things, coming out of one of the hardest things that I've been through. Life Cycle. Go check it out if you'd like. Girl Next Door. This is the 10th episode of the podcast, I believe. I have one in the tuck also that I might drop some clips of here and there. We'll see. But we're going to have some guests on next week, so hopefully we can get some more value for you guys. I really appreciate you. I love artists, and I'm here for you. If there's anything that I can do or any questions or anything that I can help with, literally, I'm right here. DM me, email me, text me, whatever, and we'll make it happen. So I appreciate you for being on this journey with me. I'm here with you also. And I'm going to go now because I'm probably going to be late for school as usual. Bye.